you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too.
She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
And then, Vinny, after all of those emotional posts, Savannah announces a family reward, which is a large amount. Take a listen to this video.
We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad and with her beloved brother Pierce and with our daddy. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery.
And Vinny, we do also know that most recently, Savannah Guthrie made her way back to New York City to visit her colleagues at the Today Show studios. She does say there is a plan to return, just no exact date just yet.
What it do, guys? It's your boy, YouTube Juice. It is day 38 since Nancy Guthrie has been missing. Actually, we're actually going into day 39. I'm just starting my stream relatively late. So it's still the same day for me, but we're going into another day. But because I haven't slept, we're just going to say day 38. But really, we're actually currently on day 39 since Nancy's been missing. As we all know, the 84-year-old mother of TV anchor Savannah Guthrie, her mom went missing in Tucson, Arizona, February 1st. And we're still unsure about her whereabouts. We just want them to bring Nancy home at this point. Whoever took Nancy, just bring her home. I know it's not that easy, but like she said in the video, it's never too late to do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. We got $1 million reward from this lady right here. And, obviously she just wants to know, her and her family, they just want to know where their mom is. And as we all know, Savannah has, she's skeptical of whether or not her mom's even still alive. We believe that Nancy was abducted, after her disappearance on February 1st. after seeing evidence of some type of footage that we saw in front of Nancy's home. We then later learned there was some DNA. So now, after establishing that we had DNA in the home, we're now waiting for FBI to work up a genealogy test, or genealogy tree, in other words. So we're hoping for the best. All hopes high, all prayers high. We want a miracle to obviously happen in this entire investigation that's been going on. We want a miracle. We want Nancy to come home alive. That would be the best outcome if Nancy were to come home alive. But I think a lot of us, you know, it's been 38, 39 days, a lot of us we're at a point where we think she's no longer here. We've had so many theories throughout these weeks. We haven't even heard from Savannah for about a week now. So I wonder if we'll hear from her soon. She did go back to the Today Show just to visit. As far as I know, she's not back working yet. So we'll see if Savannah returns back to work anytime soon. You know, it may just help her keep her mind off of things, but I mean, being surrounded by media and being that that's what she does for a living, it's kind of very difficult for her not to, you know, not have her mind on it at work, because, you know, that's what they do. That's what they do. Big welcome to those of y'all tuning in. I had a really good video to show you guys today from a relatively small streamer as well. She might be big, actually. Let's just say she's big. I don't know. I've never heard of her. She might have a different name, but the name that I discovered was True Crime. She's doing some analyzing based on pretty much all of the suspects that could have been potential suspects in the Nancy Guthrie case. You might have seen her. I think I've seen her on one other occasion. I can't recall when that was. However, she's doing, in this video, she's doing like a face, I can't remember how you would reference it. She's matching up these potential suspects that we had to the actual suspect that we had in the video in front of Nancy's home, and seeing how closely they match. And I wanted to do that myself. However, I haven't took the time or had the time to look for something like that to download on my computer here. But maybe eventually I'll be doing my own comparisons to see who matches up the best. We got a lot of time. We got nothing but time. I mean, this seems like it's going to take a lot of time. I always say this, thanks to, you know, us YouTubers and, you know, the media out there. We're keeping this thing alive. We are keeping this thing alive. Every day it seems like we're finding more and more things to talk about based on everything that has happened. Brian Intent visited a neighbor the other day, and she said she saw a suspicious guy in the neighborhood. I want to dive into that. There was also a couple days ago, I'm kind of catching up because I missed about I think I didn't, actually just one day, I didn't stream yesterday. There was a big thing going on about the neighborhood. I think it was like a power source to the neighborhood. Whether or not that was tampered with, we had a lot of big talk about the Wi-Fi jammer, all of that stuff. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm probably gonna pretty much ignore. I think the Wi-Fi jammer is irrelevant. I'm gonna be honest. It's not something that I really truly care about in this case. Although it was interesting to see, you know, what the neighbors had to say in regards to, you know, whatever had happened at the time that she may have been taken out of her home. I want to talk about that blood. It's kind of where we left off in the last video, on the doorstep of Nancy's home right near that mat. I'm also questioning whether or not they took that mat for evidence. I also never looked through the times that I've been at the home. I've never really looked to see if the mat was still there this whole time. So I thought that would be interesting, to kind of talk about tonight, whether or not they'd even be able to pull DNA from that. Someone made a very interesting point about actually, it wasn't an interesting point. It was a dumb point. Let me just be real. Someone said that there's no way she could have been carried out if the blood looks the way it looks. And I'm pertaining to this very picture right here, because that's what he was talking about. And I can't recall who it was. It doesn't matter, because I'd rather not throw him under the bus. However, they say someone mentioned that she would have had to be standing up if the, considering the blood is looking the way it looks right here, that means that she would have to be standing up. I highly disagree with that theory. I feel like she would have had to, be carried out kind of like a baby, kind of like how you would cradle a baby. I feel like either that or over the shoulder. Because if the blood dropped that many times, that would be a lot of blood for it to be all of that blood and only drop one time. She would have had to be standing there for quite some time as well. I thought also, if she were standing, we would see like a footprint. There would be a lot of separation in between the foot and the blood, because obviously the blood that drops on the foot, if you're standing there, obviously you're going to get blood on your shoe or your clothes. I do see that there's blood like darker in some areas, or, in one of the areas the blood is lighter, if I could point that out. But I just think if she had been standing up, there would be a space in between where there's no blood. But I'm not seeing that at all, because perhaps there was blood that dropped on my shoe. That blood's not getting on the ground, right? Not right directly under where my shoe is. So that's the point that I'm making. I'm just saying, not to say, because there is a space in between some of the droplets there. But she would have had to be standing there for quite some time, I think, to leak that much blood. Not only that, I just feel like they spent some time at that door for that much blood to be there. But during the time that they were there and that blood dropped, I don't think that she was standing up, because I don't see her being willing. And I also don't think she was conscious when they took her out. I think she was alive, however, I don't think she was awake. And the reason why I argue that is because I don't know Nancy very well. However, I just know that Nancy probably would have screamed. Dealing with a lot of the elderly women that I deal with in the work environment that I work every single day, make no mistake, these older women, as Nancy was described, being sharp as a tack mentally, are not fearless at all to scream. So just imagine you're getting taken out of your home, your own home. Would you scream? Would you be willing to let someone remove you where you've laid your head for 40 something years? Would you stand for that? Let's not overlook the fact that you'd be super frightened in the middle of the night, waking up to a masked man. Not to say, though, just thinking about it, that were the case, because it's also possible that she didn't even get a chance to see who walked in the house. They could have immediately dang near beat her to death, for all we know, which is what I hate. One thing I hate to say, But I'm just saying. But if you look at the blood, you analyze the blood. Let's just analyze it for a second. If you put a shoe, just put a shoe there. I don't see that much blood being there, dripping down, and a majority of that blood not getting on, not getting on the ground, but on the shoe. I just don't see it. I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but I'm just not seeing it. It's not making any sense. It does not sound logical to me. Her being carried out, don't know how she was carried out, sounds more logical than her standing at the door and waiting at the door. So what? Wait for these guys to say, let's leave? Nah. So whoever's saying that she was conscious and willing to go and standing at the door, I'm not buying it. Sorry. I'm not buying it. So this lady that we're about to watch right now, she does facial mapping. And I thought it was interesting how she matched up Kalela. And I also thought it was interesting how she kind of put everyone together in the same loop, which it made a lot of sense. It was insane. It was almost crazy to me. I know Kalela has been cleared amongst a lot of the people. I just don't. For me, in my eyes, no one's cleared until we find an actual suspect, and that goes for the sheriff even clearing so much as the family. I don't even think the family's clear in my eyes. I don't think it works that way, but I just think he wanted to release some stress amongst the family due to what they have going on right now. I'm gonna waste no time because I don't really have a whole lot of time. And we're going to chime in on this video. We're not going to waste no time. We've already wasted enough time getting started. Let's chime in on this video.
I'm not accusing anybody. I'm saying, let me show you these connections. So when we look at Derek Kalila, he made that little comment. Where do we have it?
Big welcome to those of y'all tuning in, by the way.
No,
Webbing, what up, by the way?
Scroll for days because we've
who's
got
all up
a
in it?
lot.
Just Webbing? Oh, man, what's up, Webbing?
Of information.
We got
I'm
55
not
people and
seeing
nobody
where
else
I had
talking
it.
but Webbing. Yo, I
But he
appreciate that,
calls
Webbing.
Mojito Dad. Let me see. Man, why can't I see it? Found it. Okay. Like I said, we're getting a lot of information. So Mojito is answering.
And by the way, a lot of people are saying this wrong because a lot of people can't really speak Spanish very well. It would be mijito. Mijito. I think that everyone's speculation has mentally messed with everyone else's speculations. Someone may come by and they have a very good theory, and I think it alters your theory a little bit to kind of change your theory or think differently about your theory. But at the same time, lately I've been I haven't really been buying into other people's theory. I've been sticking to my own. I just think that this is more simple than what we're making it, because you know how the world is. We throw a lot of things out there that really just get us all twisted up that shouldn't even be thrown out there.
The secret mutilator. See up here, the secret mutilator says, I just want to get my car and ride away forever. Just me and my girl, me, her, and my black Mercedes, ride away and take it. I'll take it. It'll take me. And then Mojito answers, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Sorry to stop the video again, but Webbing, I agree with you 100%. The timeline is 100% off. No doubt about it. I think the good thing about them going around and collecting evidence door to door, I think the reason why I would say that they're doing that is because they're trying to collect as much video as they can to really know everything as much as possible that went on at the time that they think she went missing. Even if they don't know the exact time, as long as they cover like a certain time to a certain time, I think that would pay its dues. I think that would do a lot for this investigation, just if they're able to kind of put things together, though. And I think so far in this investigation, we've struggled so much to really put anything together. Nothing has stuck. Absolutely nothing has stuck that we've stumbled across. So
with a smiley face with hearts for eyes. So we know they are connected. When we look at these connections,
Yo, Hanson, welcome in.
It connects Mojito to...
So I thought it was interesting how she kind of put everybody up here on the board. And I want y'all to pay attention how these people connect. And I know a lot of you guys have been in tune, so you guys are aware of all of this. But for those that don't, kind of pay attention so you kind of know, how these people are all connected. There's a few things that I learned that I didn't even realize. Because I didn't really care about some of these people, so I didn't really spend the time trying to put everything together. But the way she puts it together, it makes sense. And yeah, you just got to see... you got to see. You just got to see. We're not even going to dive into detail. I'm going to let her.
This couple, which go to the Scorched, right, that he hosts. Kayla Day works at the Scorched, that event, as well as attends. And then Kayla Day is connected through an arrest in 2025, not 2 years ago, but less than a year ago. We're talking, 9 months ago, to Luke Daly. So it really draws a question as to how deep is Kalila really involved, and was it really a fake? Was it fake that he was putting out this statement? And the statement alone, did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction. Sounds to me like not an out of the blue thing. Sounds like a prior arrangement and you're following up. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean that that's fact. But when you go to Luke Daly, right here, you've got the Royal Room, Luke Daly. Anyone on or off Facebook talks about Disco Obscure.
By the way, real quick, has anybody ever been able to find any of Luke Daly's social, like any social platform that he's on? I haven't been able to find him anywhere. Maybe he took it down because of all the attention that he's gotten lately. But I just would like to find him on social media. Maybe not to reach out, but just to kind of, I want to investigate too. I want to look around and see what I see on his page.
It talks about being with DJ Mojito and his band name, Secret Mutilator. So, you guys, let's get into some of how he talks, all right? All right. This is the kind of stuff you put. Now, this was back in 2017. Who knows what he really meant? But Derek Kalila, I went back to his actual Facebook, not just the Secret Mutilator stuff, but him as a person. And, keep in mind that this is like, a long time ago, but back after Hacked MF. So, I mean, maybe he does have some hacking skills. Who knows? I thought that was strange. But I wanted to get into the masked guy. And I wanted to show you something. Now, in this, we cannot compare the mouth because the mouth is obscured. The mouth has a flashlight in it, which would obscure the lips. And the nose is covered. So the only thing I wanted you to focus on are the eyes. So let's get them in the center. And I have overlaid Derek's Kalila's picture. If it'll do her. Okay, give it a minute. My computer's slow because it's saving this. I'm going to turn off that. Oh, it froze. Just give it a second and it'll be fine. Let me see. No, it's still not fine. This is the thing we do when we're live. We're like, why won't it work? Alaskan Wolf Mom says, is this the question or next video? This is the one where I share with you my findings. Jennifer says, Michelle, after the...
By the way, where is Kalila? Where does Kalila live? That would be my question. Where is Derek Kalila and where does he live? Where? Like, is he in Mexico? Because if he is, that's a little suspicious. I'm not going to lie. because we have a lot of suspicions based on where we think Nancy may be, and a lot of people think she maybe might be in Mexico. So if he's in Mexico, that's kind of weird, and I wouldn't put anything past this guy just because he pretended and just because he got in trouble for one, reaching out to Annie and Tommaso. Don't know how he reached out. Don't know if he had their contacts. I don't know about that. I haven't dived into detail on that. But I just know he reached out to Annie and Tommaso. And this was the guy that said that he knew where they were at for whoever took Nancy. I think was he the one that said that he knew that he saw them at the border? I'm not too sure if it turned out to be him. I want to say that was the guy. However, he got in trouble for pretty much lying. Not pretty much, he did. So, but I'm just saying, just because he did what he did, it does not mean that he's not the guy. It doesn't eliminate him from being a suspect, Suspects do the most craziest thing.
Stream is ended. Swipe left on chat box to click hype. 3 per week. Woo! Thank you. Hello, Lady Tidy. Welcome back. Good to see you. Trish Campbell, good to see you. It's still frozen. Okay, it's not frozen. We can try it. All right. So we have the masked man's eyes. I did do some much further work than this that I'll share with you, but we're going to transition back into Derek Kalila and see what you think. Now watch close. We're on stage 1.
Is it Teresa?
Big
welcome, by the way.
Only the masked guy. First layer of Derek Kalila. Obviously, he fits the mask perfectly.
So we're starting with the mask so far. Kalila's fit the mask so far. I don't know how these people are finding these masks and lining them up to faces. I got to figure this out so we can do this ourselves. Trista says, I love hearing the perspective of others in certain true crime cases. First time here. Big welcomes, by the way. What are your opinions? I'm going to dive into this real quick, and I'll share my opinions. I'll share a lot of them as we go on, too. But, yeah, I'll give my theory.
His head shape is there, everything. All right, let's go. Now, all I've done is make sure that the two pictures are the same size and overlaid them. The reason you're seeing that green dot is because I put that green dot in the center of the masked guy's
Let me move my
eyes.
camera for a second.
And then I lined up Derek Kalila's face with it. Now we're going up. We're at 2 levels. We'll go to level 3. Level 4, we're Derek, and we are all Derek. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 steps to go back. Just watch the eyes. All right? We go back 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you've got the last step, 5, before we are fully the mask. And we're going to go back and forth. Look at the shape of the eye. Especially this eye over here. This eye does not change. This eye does not change. But this is just shocking to me. We'll go back and forth a little bit.
I thought this was so amazing, by the way.
The mouth is just floors me.
So I'm going to pause it right there real quick. So one thing I wanted to point out that it wasn't me who actually took notice of this. Someone else took notice of this the other day. And I can't remember whose stream it was. But at the time, whoever this guy is, he had a cyst. It looks like a cyst to me. We'll call it a bump. It's a bump. All right. But whoever pointed it out said that it was a cyst. And I thought that was interesting. And like I said in the last stream, it was so critical to find this guy relatively quick, just due to the fact that there will be certain distinctive things that you may discover, as far as, swollen hands, certain things that really make out the person that was there, like a pimple, just little things that, you have that really make you, you know what I mean? So that I think is out the door. That's no longer into effect. His hands, if his hands were swollen, because we saw Luke with the swollen hand when he was detained, when they got raided that night, just about a week before Nancy went missing. So yeah, I mean, those things are gone. This guy's healed. He's healed. Whatever bruises he's had or whatever they did that night, if they beat Nancy, that's gone.
And also notice with Derek, his dark eyelashes are only on the outside edge of the top and down on the bottom a little, but they're on the outside of the eyes. There's no real dark right there in the center by the bridge of the nose. And so when we're looking at the masked guy, we'll go back and transition. That's exactly what this guy has. His dark lashes on the outside of the eye. Are you seeing this? Michelle Mybell says it's mouth dropping. Oh wait, you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. It gets wild. I trace the masked guy's eyes, and then
yeah, stick around, guys, because this just gets even more interesting.
when we transition, you're going to get to see that. I trace the mouth, you're going to get to see that. This is like what the actual... Laura Barnes says uncanny. Michelle says, Mama D, get the goat again. I get the goat.
By the way, if you're tuning in, don't forget to subscribe as well as give the video a thumbs up, guys. Please give that video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm of the stream. We would definitely like to put this stream more out there. I'm a growing YouTuber as well. I got a lot of ways to go. Long ways to go. Hey, don't forget, drop that comment if you want to let me know anything. I try to get back to all the comments in the prior videos, when I am on stream. So feel free to drop a comment. Maybe let me know what I could work on. Anything helps. I appreciate it.
The goat. All right. Double goats. Thank you, lovely.
Oh man, that was a terrible.
I'm just saying,
goat
this
sound.
gets crazy. Both have almond-shaped eyes that droop down. All right. We're going to keep messing with this for just a minute more, and then we're going to dive deeper. We're going to go full-blown mask. One step up. And now we'll go back and forth between this and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Oh my God, help me. This is crazy. If he is not the one that did it, his twin did. You feel me? Like, look.
Tell me about it.
Boom, 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 boom.
What do you think? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? What do you think? Are we missing something? Did something change? Do you think that she's not on point? Because from what I can see, it looks like she's on point. I mean, it looks like it's on point. Maybe she ain't on point. Maybe the picture's on point. I don't know. However you want to put it. So far, it looks like it's a match.
All the way back down, down, down.
Teresa says, I think the porch guy is Luke, but the authorities lack the evidence for arrest and prosecution. I agree that Derek is sus too. Yeah, and they're all, and you know how it's a small world, right? If you're from Tucson, I'm from Tucson, Arizona. Regardless, if you're in a small city, you know how it is. Everyone kind of knows everyone, and if they don't know everyone, they know of everyone else, So, the saying that we all hear growing up, it's a small world. So just knowing that these guys all are associated with the Mijito guy tells me that they know of each other, even if they don't really know each other. So I thought that was really interesting. And I think with that being said, these guys got some explaining to do. And if you're Tommaso, by the way, and guys like this that could be potential suspects, I get it. You got to protect this case because it's a really, really huge investigation, and you don't want anything that may hurt this investigation. Not to say that him reaching out to these guys that you know, like Mijito and Kalila, and then, you know, Luke, or even the girl, Kayla, I think her name's Kayla, why not reach out and try to get some details? If you're not the guy and you just want to figure out where Nancy's at, and you have some type of sources that, you know, may lead up to us finding Nancy, why not reach out to these guys? I don't think it's going to hurt the case to go around and ask some questions to people who, you know, a lot of people might have some suspicions of, you know. The internet is great. I'm not going to lie. When it comes to figuring out people's names, figuring out just the little things that you ain't going to spend the time and take the time out to do, the internet will figure that out in a heartbeat. So, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The secret mutilator. Now, think about this. We've asked how many of us, from Ashley Banfield to Brian Inton to JLR to Dolly Vision to Intuition, Sleuth Intuition to Monk's Intrigue to myself to every single one of you said, who in their right mind would abduct an 84-year-old woman? How about a Satanist? Huh? How about Nancy Guthrie was a devout Lutheran, and her daughter Savannah is writing the good book about God. All right? You have the other daughter that's writing the opposite. She's writing the good dark. So you got the everything good about God over here. I don't know the real title. I'd have to look it up. I had it. But Savannah Guthrie wrote a book all about the goodness of God. Annie Guthrie, the sister, is writing all about the good dark. So you got the light sister, you got the dark sister. It's making me think of like a Wizard of Oz, right? With the good witch Belinda and the bad witch, whatever, flying monkeys, you name it. But it's very strange. Okay, the mustache also, well, we're going to
I'm not going to lie, the fact that, you know, because we know Andy's not the only one who has dark things going on, like things like, you know, a book. And I think Tommaso's band, she'll get into detail on what his band is called, but they're weird. But we can't let that affect the way we think about, you know, who may be Nancy Guthrie's suspect, you know, or, you know, who may have did this, you know. Because there's so many things, when stuff happens like this and it's so viral and everyone knows, you know, there are going to be things that people dig up on you that are highly questionable. So you have to keep that in mind, because if you don't, that stuff may affect the way you think about this whole investigation. You know, I just don't want to get too distracted on this, because it may be something that they thought was going to be something that everyone else was interested in, you know, or maybe it's a book based on a true story, you know, based on how they really think. For all I know, I don't know, but I just know that that's how this world is. People will find the littlest things, anything and everything to criticize you about. And that may not have anything to do with what's actually going on. So I try not to get too distracted on these things.
Into that too. All right, you guys, let's head back over. Now we're going to do half the face. Okay? So right now we're just going to do, and let me just shrink. No, we'll leave it. We're going to go half the face. We've got the full-blown mask guy. We're going to lay half of Derek's face on top of the mask. Just do half his face. And look at the bone structure. Are you kidding me?
I don't know why, for whatever reason, the pupil looks identical, but the eye looks bigger on the
Even
on that
the
right
damn
side.
eyebrow. Watch, the eyebrow doesn't even change. The eyebrow is the identical. It's crazy to me.
Wow.
I don't even know where to go with this. You feel me?
You feel me?
Look at this. All right. Lesky Walker says, great connections. Thank you, love. A Smithy, I have a good pic. Send it to me. Aquarius says, both daughters are Capricorn. A Smithy says, no tattoos on wrist. How are you, Shelly? Good to see you. I'm sorry, I thought Kalila was involved until Nancy Grace released the wrist tattoo. A good pic. He has no tattoos on his wrist. I'm sorry. You guys, if you're gonna go in to rob someone or abduct someone, who's to say you didn't put on a fake tat and make sure it can be seen so that you're throwing a red herring out there? And the only thing you guys can see is some dark looking stuff along the wrist.
It's not likely
So
somebody's gonna
just
do that.
think about that. They could put in fake contacts. They could put tattoos on. They could do their hair different. He shaves afterwards. Just saying. Don't let one little thing hold you back. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, guess what? It may be a duck. He looks like a woman. Derek is originally from Mexico. Correct. Ding, 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 ding. Couple Cats says, we got a winner.
You know, I thought that was interesting. A lot of people were
Just
saying that this could
unbelievable.
possibly be a woman because I think a lot of people were saying that Kalila's or the person that's under the mask is pretty. Like, you know, and I don't see it, but it's kind of hard to see that as a man. But a lot of people were saying that for whatever reason, there was some pretty features about him. But based on how he carries himself, the hands, he's, you know, got the manly hands. The hands are not super small. The girl's going to have, those manly, very skinny hands. So a woman's not going to have manly, puffy, big hands like that. Also, you know, that something about the chin for me, the neck, it just looks like a male's neck to me. It doesn't look like a female's neck. Not to say a woman can't have a double chin, because she can, but this guy does have a double chin. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's just certain characteristics about a man that you'll notice right away that women just don't carry. So for me, it's very difficult for me to say that that's a woman or find a woman in this, this video or this picture. Don't know what people are thinking sometimes, but the stuff that some people can come up with to me is crazy. It's almost like, if you really think that's a woman, then how the hell are we going to ever find our suspect? I'm just saying. And I couldn't believe it. I think JLR did this about a couple weeks ago of whether or not, this guy's got 20,000 people at a time, tuning in. So, and he did a video, or he was live streaming, and he asked everyone in the live stream if they thought it was a woman or a man. And a lot of people, most people said a woman. And I'm like, good Lord, if there's so many people that think this is a woman, we're never going to find our suspect. My goodness.
Very true. No, they got the tack pic from Nancy Grace is highly edited. Could be. It could be. All right. We're going to go even a step further. We're going to go a lot of steps further. Let's get over here. I outlined the dude's eye. Like, I blew this sucker up, and I took my time. Now, I didn't do eyelashes.
I think it was more than one person. Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
doing the
Indeed, I agree.
outside edge of the whites of the eye, not the actual eyelids themselves. What I outlined is the whites of the eye. Okay? So I got it. That is the shape of the eye. And I looked at it really hard, and I'm like, that's the shape of the eye. I got it right there on the mask eye. That's the shape of it. Nobody should fit this mapping. Nobody should be able to be transitioned, and that shape.
Quick question for those of you guys in chat. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, someone who does like face analyzing, but how likely is it? That would be my question to you. How likely is it that there is someone that has the exact same features as you? And I'm not just saying one feature, I'm saying multiple, because obviously with her pointing out these features matching up Kalila with the suspect we saw in front of Nancy's home on that surveillance video, he's got more than one feature that matches up almost perfectly. So how likely is it that someone out there, you know, has the same features that you have? You know, we all do say like most Chinese people look alike, but that doesn't mean that they have the exact same features. That doesn't mean that, you know, their eye is exactly the same, even though they got those chink eyes. You know where I'm going with this.
Fits their eyes too, unless they have a double or it's them, right? Passion Flower, wow, I have a feeling that some of this was rehearsed, or that this little team of people have done this before and maybe never got caught. A Smithy says, I know I Kalalila all along. Boom, drop the mic. You are a goat. Thank you, Alaskan. Spilled paint furniture flipper says, crazy. Are you going to evaluate Luke Daly's face today? No, I am doing one person's today. You don't like In Chi. Why don't you like Nancy? Julie. A Smithy says, spot on 1111. I knew he was all along. It may be a fake tattoo. We don't know. We don't know. All right, you guys, let's do this. Let me grab Derek's picture. Are you ready? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So as you can see, we've outlined the masked guy's eyes. Those are the shape of his eyes. All right, let's go. Are you ready for this? Boom. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Boom. Boom. Boom!
Wow.
What in the actual fudge at Christmas?
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Ah, that's crazy to me. What are the chances of this crap? Let's go back down. Now remember, that's not me circling Derek's eyes. That's coming from this. Look, it's the dude's eyes in the mask. I've circled the dude's eyes in the mask. But look, it looks like I circled Luke. It looks like I circled Derek Kalila's eyes. Mic drop, hot shot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow, says Wendy B. OMG, says Hey Smithy.
Maybe she got lucky, and then, you know, maybe she got lucky and just put his face in the, you know, in the right spot, and it just lined up, but it really doesn't line up. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. I'm starting to be convinced that this is the guy, but maybe not.
And it gets so much wilder. I can't wait to show you the mouth. Holy crap. Amazing, says Lesky Walker. Thank you, lovely. Exact, says Lynn.
Insane. What are the odds of his face lining up just like that? Is insane. No tattoo. We really haven't confirmed whether or not that there's a tattoo, though. I mean, we just suspect that there's a tattoo when he kind of briefly shows his arm in that video. But no one's really been able to confirm whether or not he truly has a tattoo or not. So we really don't know that at all yet. But that's the thing, and that's what I mentioned earlier. You got to be careful with these theories and speculations that people are putting out there. Like I said, it's so easy to run off with someone else's theory. It's so easy to it's so easy to change your theory just a little bit based on what you heard someone else thought, you know, because people really have some really good thoughts based on what they think really went down. And Rissa was asking me, you know, what I thought about, you know, this thing, to give her my speculation on it. I can give you a brief, because, you know, it's obviously going to take a while. But to agree with you earlier, I agree. There's definitely more than one person. I think it was at least three. I do know that there's a high possibility that this guy could have acted alone for certainty. I think, with, you know, obviously with someone weighing 150 pounds, if they're knocked out or they're dead, we know that 150 pounds, let's just assume it turns into 300 pounds. I know what it feels like to move dead weight. I do it every day. So we can say that, you know, that person that weighs 150 pounds, it just assume that they're 300 pounds and she's dead or she's just unconscious. But then we have the person who's lifting the person, and we'll put adrenaline into effect. Okay, so obviously someone with a high adrenaline is going to be much stronger on a normal day basis. So I think it's highly possible someone 150 pounds, because Nancy weighed 150, that she could have been carried out alone. But that's not my theory. My theory would be it would be more than one other person, or more than one person. I think it's three, and I think we have two. I think we have two guys there. I don't think the guy that we see in that video is our actual suspect, the guy that actually went in and removed Nancy from her home. I don't think that that's our guy. I think that guy was the guy kind of waiting around for the call. I think he was also kind of a lookout. I don't think they forced their way in the back. I think the door was either unlocked, either the sliding door. I know they didn't go through the garage, but I know they went through the back for sure. You know, don't quote me on it, but I think they definitely went through the back. And yeah, I think the guy in the front, sitting there waiting, he's kind of looks like he's kind of the lookout. You know, as he approaches the door, you'll kind of see him. It appears like he's gonna knock, like he almost wants to knock, but he doesn't. I don't think he was gonna knock at all, but I mean it does appear that way. Let's pull up the video real quick so we can watch it while I'm kind of analyzing and talking about it. Just real quick, we'll go right back to. I think she goes by the name of Crime something. I think she has an actual name, but I don't know her name. And I should have looked it up, because I like to give credit to the YouTubers that I'm reacting off of. Let's pull up this video just real quick, chat. Just real quick. Because we gotta talk about it. And I didn't have my video ready, so let me just throw it in the mix real quick, and I might have to zoom in just a little bit, because I'm gonna use a short, because it's gonna keep replaying and it just makes things that much easier. I might have to zoom out just a little bit, just so we could see the whole full body. Anyway, let's go back real quick. So as he approaches the door, you know, a lot of people think he's gonna knock. I don't think he's gonna knock. I think that's when he takes notice of the camera, because you can tell when he stops, you can really see his pupils. You can see exactly where he's looking. He's right. I think right at that moment in time, he's looking out the corner of his eye, and he takes notice of the camera. And I think that's what people mistake him for, you know, the fact that he's gonna knock. But really, he's, you know, going to cover up the camera. And I feel like he almost wants to just knock it off, but he doesn't want to make too much noise. You can tell he's being very quiet. Also, yesterday, I had to point this out real quick while we're looking at this right now. No, the day before that, because I didn't live yesterday. People really, I think people speculated on this a little bit in the beginning, and then it seems like everyone just kind of forgot about it, and then they just kind of let it go. If you notice in the background right there, and I'll put my arrow on it real quick. If you notice in the background, it looks like a car on the street. If you've been in the neighborhood, I've been in Nancy's neighborhood several times. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, if you don't know. I've been over there several times. There's no houses across the street. There are houses, you know, beyond across the street, and you can see the lights in the background there, That's a house. So let me pull up my arrow so you can see what I'm talking about. So right over there where my arrow is at, that's a house. So right over there, that's a house. So this right here where the arrow, literally at the very tip of the arrow, is the driveway. Now the driveway goes out to the road, obviously, right? So this is the road, right where my arrow is at, right at the tip. Right on the road is lights. There are no houses across the street. Absolutely none. It is desert, dirt, trees. That's it. That is a car in the street. I don't care what anyone says. That's a car. And to me, that car that we see across the street or in the street appears to be a Kia Soul to me. It looks like a Kia Soul. Anyway, though, I think it was 3 people. They broke in through the back. I think Nancy was knocked unconscious. I don't think she was dead once they removed her from the home. But I feel like I think she was hurt pretty badly. And I don't want to get into too much details because, I don't know who's listening, and I don't want to, I don't want to make anybody sad. And I'm not afraid to be honest, but I'm going to keep it PG-13 as possible. And I think she was highly hurt. I think someone hurt her pretty bad. Because like I said, I think Nancy fought. I don't think she was going to go willingly. Not at all. I don't think that they were there 41 minutes. I think they were there a shorter amount of time than that. I think they spent less time there. I also think they came back to clean up the place. I don't think that, because since they have suspicions on whether or not it was February 11th that the suspect came back and revisited the home, or he visited the house before this actually happened. I think they came back at some point in time and cleaned it up. That's just how I feel. As far as what's in the backpack, there's so many speculations, there's so many things to speculate on. I feel like that would be, because I don't feel like this guy is all that involved. I don't feel like he is leading the way. I feel like it would either be, I have a couple theories on that, either be clothes and maybe a change of shoes. And if it's not that, it would be something to put her body in a bag. If his buddy, doesn't already have these things. Some zip ties. It wouldn't be any tape because he clearly wasn't conscious enough to think, cover this camera with some tape or some spray paint. I think this was also targeted. I don't feel like this was a burglary gone bad. A lot of people have suspicions based on whether or not they think it was a burglary gone bad. That one I disagree with. I'm almost sure that this wasn't a burglary gone bad. And we've all pointed it out. Everyone's pointing it out. The fact that they did not take anything. As far as we've all heard, there was not a single thing that was missing. So I don't know what this would make out to be. I don't know how we would make this out to be a burglary. Also, the biggest reason why I don't think that they bit on the reward offer, which, we still got time. We're not going to give up on, hoping that somebody comes out and gives us the information that we're looking for that leads us to Nancy. But I think these guys were also hired. And if they're not from a different, if they're from a different country, it would be Mexico. And as time has gone on, I feel like there is a chance that Nancy could be in Mexico. And if she's not and she's here, I don't think, because burning a body doesn't take as long as, I think the longest, as far as this, getting rid of a body, the longest would be digging, obviously digging. Anything else, it's really tough from what I heard to get rid of a body by burning it. I don't even want to figure it out. Obviously, there's other ways to get rid of a body, like maybe cutting it up. But anyway, I think that she's probably, like I said, if she was even buried, she would be in someone's backyard. But if she is close and she's at someone's house, I would only believe that she would be in their fridge, like in their freezer, their deep freezer. Not to say that she would fit in a deep freezer, but I think she would. And if she didn't, I think, obviously she'd be cut up in a deep freezer. I hate to say this. But I don't feel like Nancy's here. Not just her no longer being with us, but I don't feel like she's here in this city. I feel like she would be in Mexico. And if not in Mexico, she'd be in another state. But suspects are dumb. We've all seen the dumbest things happen. That's a little bit of my take on this for now. Anyway, let's chime back in. I want to finish watching this girl analyze and just kind of compare Kalila, which we might just think this may be Kalila. But for me to realize that or figure that out, I want to see how Kalila walks, how he carries himself, just little things like that. If that's your friend, you're close to him and you know him well, you'll know who's behind that mask. I always say this. If that was my daughter, my best friend, my brother, he could cover it and disguise himself all he wants. I'll still recognize that that's him. By the way, one more last theory. So the strub, a lot of people say that he used the strub to cover up the camera. Disagree with that as well. I think the strub was to try to pry off the camera. I don't think he was dumb enough to sit there and waste the time to try to cover up the camera with the strub, although it does look like that. But I think that strub was used to try to pry that thing off. There is theories and speculations based on this guy being intoxicated or under the influence of something. That one I could agree with, just simply because I think I think a lot of people before they commit a crime, they're either under the influence of something, especially a highly, highly crazy crime like this. A lot of the times they are. We'll speculate on that a little bit more tomorrow, but I want to chime back in and show you all this video and just show you how she matches things up.
That's wild. Hi, Jan Funk. Good to see you. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do this a little bit more. Let's go back. We're gonna give it the moment because I get ahead of myself because I'm like, right. I get all like, oh my gosh. All right, let's just do this real slow. All right, we've got the guy's eyes. Now we're going to slowly overlay. Now keep in mind, I've circled the eyes, but I've made them the top overlay. So the circles are from the mask. I'm inserting in between the two layers. I'm going to insert Derek Kalila's eyes. Hold on, I need...
Oh, man, what happened? Did she mute her mic to take a drink?
And his mouth is going to blow you away. You think the eyes are wild? You just wait. Mama D been busy behind the scenes. All right. I got the mask guy. That's his eyes. All right, let's go. First stage. First stage. Already you can see that it's not a wild miss, right? Second stage, you can obviously see that it is literally overlaying the whites of Derek Kalila's eyes. And
Juice, I don't think she's a local either. Sheriff Danos has that wrong as well. Who? Who's a local? Wait, I'm lost. Man, I was on a live stream and he fell asleep driving. Hope it's all good. JLR fell asleep driving, or are you talking about Dad's Gone Live? Deanna says, can you look at the image of the suspect standing without the bag on another YouTube channel? Someone said that there was another person in the picture as you look at it to the left of his leg near the bush. I'll pull it up right now.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Look at this. All the way to town and back.
Bear with me for a sec.
Why be so careful and let a tattoo peek? Maybe you want that tattoo seen because you don't have one. All right, let's see the mouth, says Pink Shimmer. Kathy says, hold on, I got to close the notification. Luke's mom wasn't home when they came to the house, and Luke's brother was there. But then she says they left and went to her son's house in Phoenix with her grandkids. What? Why? I don't know, lovely. She said no other son was there. I don't know, y'all. All right, let's get into the mouth. We're going to start off with no drawing. I just simply lined up Luke Daly's lips, and I lined up. Now, let me go
I
small
have that picture, but I got to find it, guys.
Let's
Let's just plug into this video for a sec.
this picture, but the reason I say that is I have another picture, much younger version of him, and we're going to do the whole thing again with a different picture. Okay, so this is Luke Daly, right? And we have the mouth of the mask.
That's not Luke, that's Kalelo. That's what she meant to say. Kalela.
Person. Okay. Watch the mouth of the masked person. Let me make it bigger so that you've got it right, like in your face. All right. Let's go from transparency. Let's go up a little bit. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. I'm gonna.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
I have not done a thing to his lips. Nothing. I haven't lightened it. I haven't brightened it. I haven't darkened it. Nothing.
Insane.
This is the way the picture came. Look. 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 That's him. That's full-blown Derek's picture. Now let's go back to the mask guy. Only the mask guy.
I'm just saying, just real quick, if this lady is this good, if FBI isn't reaching out to her, I just hope that these guys that are cooking something up in the lab right now are somewhat this good, if not 10 times better. Because if she's accurate, she might have something on her hands. Like she could definitely pursue some type of, some type of area in forensics for sure.
We go down, down.
But again, it's all speculation, guys. I don't know if this is actual, like, matched up to the T, So, just saying.
Are you freaking kidding me? There's the double.
That is crazy.
So we're one step away from the mask only. Are you ready? Look at the shape. There is no difference. There's no difference.
Wow.
That's freaking me out. Look. Watch the lips. Boom. We got Derek's lips. We got those lips. We got Derek's lips. We got those lips. Anybody want to help me?
Identical.
Full picture. Look, look, look. Spot on, Mama D, says Kathy. Cupid's bow lip. Admit audacity. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean Derek if I said Luke. OMG, says A. Smithy. Hey, John Bono. Hello, lovely. You said pretty. Creepy, says Hotshot. Already locked up. Holy crap.
Insane.
Just look at that.
Why are we overlooking this?
It's the man.
I don't understand. Why aren't we digging deeper? How are we? And I wouldn't put anything past these people investigating these guys, following these guys, watching these guys. But are they really trying to do everything that they can to make sure that these guys are not suspects? Because I just, and the movies are real. When you see these people, like, I don't know if you guys ever seen The Wire. But they're watching these guys the entire time that are doing drug deals and whatever else they're doing, you know, killing people and whatnot. And the only problem is they know who their suspects are. You know, they know. So this is why we question whether or not the FBI knows. I think a lot of us think that they know a lot more than we think. You know, we know that they know more than we know. But the biggest question is, do they really have the guy? You know, but the thing is, even if they have the guy, even if we get this genealogy, you know, that places whoever that was there in the home, they still have to tie him to it. They still have to prove that he did it. And that's the hardest part, is putting the suspect there. So this is going to be tough. And this is not going to be, you know, this is a very, very interesting case, a very, very unique case. And I feel like it could almost be one of those things where we know who our guy is, the whole entire world knows, but they never were able to tie him to this thing. They were never able to put him there. And I feel like there's a lot of ongoing cases like that where not even ongoing, they're just at a dead end. They got their guy, but they just were never able to tie him to it. This case has been so interesting, it could go any way. But we're very confident that this genealogy is going to do it. We're confident that someone's going to come forward and they're going to want to take this $1,200,000 reward. We're super confident, right? But who's to say, you know, this guy didn't do a great job and he's not going to get away with it. It's been 38, going on 39 days. Nothing. We haven't even really caught a break. Every break that we caught was a setback. We were right back to square one.
In the mask, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's him, but it looks just like him.
Insane.
Like there's the lips of the mask guy. And here comes David Kalila.
That is so close.
Oh my God, says Castle. OMG.
So close.
OMG, the mouth is a perfect match, Jennifer Swain. Zoe says, I'm not sure anyone can dispute this. It's identical.
Wow. I won't dispute it.
Have you shown this to the FBI? No. Wow, Mama D, says Castle. Mama D, you are the bomb, little sister. Woo! All right,
so I'm trying to find a better picture. Somebody asked me to look this up or bring this picture up. There's a picture that we've talked about for quite some time where, you know, there's a suspect and he's seen at one point in time with no backpack and no gun. It also appears like there's no holes in the mask when you see the suspect. It also seems like the suspect has on a different pair of shoes. I think I've got a way clearer picture than that. Just bear with me for a second. I'll pull up a better picture than that one. But a lot of speculation based on whether or not this guy could even be a different guy. He might even be a different guy, maybe the same build. You know, there's a lot of good best friends out there, good close friends who look just alike or share a lot of similarities based on their, you know, their body type or their size. You know, me and my best friend we have a lot in common. You know, we even sound the same on the phone. The only thing is we don't really look the same. He's shorter, I'm taller. So if you look in this other picture here of the suspect here, if you see the black, there's going to be some black on the shoe. Let's see if I can put my arrow here. And this was one of the bigger questions for me with the shoe. So notice where the shoe is at. You know, there's some black on the shoe. So this was really questionable to me, you know, and also kind of prove the fact that it, you know, there was a high possibility that it could have been, you know, on a different day. Also, I still see a vehicle in the back in that very same spot. I still see that vehicle back there. Let's see if I can zoom in. So you'll see it appears like there's lights back there that are on. So for me, it could also be the same day. He could have visited earlier in the night, which, you know, it would have been perfect if he would have visited earlier in the night, same day, because Nancy was out at Annie and Tommaso's house. So, I mean, if he went there that very same day, just, you know, scope out the house, see what he sees, make sure no one's home, that would have been perfect timing. It would have been perfect. I don't know what he wanted me to pull up this picture for, though. I think this dude might have smoked himself. High possibility. There's a high possibility. Anything's possible. I even brought up a point yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and I was like, you know, it could have been one of those situations where he didn't trust nobody. And he went and smoked everyone. You know, the person that was leading the way through this whole thing could have went and killed everybody. Deanna says all I can see is a bush. Apparently you have to zoom in. Deanna says, oh wow, I've seen some late night YouTubers do the same, so it's so scary. Yeah, I saw some people, you're talking about how they do the comparison. Yeah, I've seen a couple other videos, but I haven't seen any videos as good as this one. I haven't seen a comparison made as good as this one. I mean, especially with Kalila. I mean, it was so close. Oh, okay. Ziana was saying that there was that she thinks she sees another person in this picture. Let me zoom in real quick. I think I can find just the picture alone. So let me see if I can just pull that up. It'll probably make it easier to zoom in on. There's so many pictures of this guy online. It's just really hard to find a really good clear one because a lot of them are blurry. But this one's a tough picture with the one that, you know, where he's standing still without the backpack, just because it's like, it's a little pixelated as well. But it, you know, it'd be nice to find a nice one that's kind of been edited to look a little bit better. Let me just zoom in on the one we have because I'm having a hard time finding, and I don't want to waste too much time because I don't have too much time here, but let me see if I can zoom in on this that very picture we're looking at is the one in the middle. Someone says they saw a person, but I don't see a person in that picture at all. And if you can refer me to somewhere else where I can find a much clearer picture, I'd be more than happy to do so. But I don't really think the picture is going to get too much more clear than that. I mean, it's really not a very good picture as it is. And you have to be careful with some of the, you know, because it's pixelated, you'll start to see things. When you stare at this picture for a long time, I've noticed I started to kind of see things. I hope that's not too far zoomed in. I can move it around a little bit. But, yeah, I'm not seeing a person anywhere in this picture at all. But like I did point out earlier, I think that could possibly be either a Kia or a CRV that is in that background right there. That is a car on the road. I'm sorry, I'm highly positive that that's probably a car on the road back there. And that could possibly be our suspect's car. I don't know. Definitely not a house because, again, Nancy doesn't have neighbors directly across the street. You know, you know, but like I said, I'll point it out one more time. Where there is a house, though, that's going to be where you see those lights at, right just above the lights where I believe that there's a car there. That's going to be a house. So we'll jump back into that real quick. I want to finish this video just real quick of this lady here analyzing the suspect in this video and Kalila. So we'll jump back into that.
Oh, that's crazy. Look at this. So when we walk this back, it's the same damn eye shape, right? Same eye shape for both of them. That eye to that eye. And if you do it without the drawing, we do a half face. We can do that. Same eyeball.
That is just insanely
Let's
close.
do the whole face. Let's go. Oh,
I wouldn't even be surprised if this lady got a phone call after this.
Look at that. And when we go to the mouth, well, that just gets absolutely weird. We go all the way right here. It's just creepy because you're like, okay, we have a colorful picture over a black and white picture. The colorful picture, his lips are slightly pinker, right? So they really stand out. But then you get to the mask and there's no color. So it's like we're putting lipstick on the masked person. Which is stupid crazy how well this matches.
Insane.
Crazy to me.
That those lips
Cheryl
are
says, excellent.
Identical. If that's not Kalila, then who is that? Because that is identical to the T. I mean, she did a great job. I got to give it to her.
Crazy to me. Cheryl Ferris says, excellent job. You have done like no other. You're the Shanit. Thank you, lovely. KCK says, awesome job, because this matches well. At the photo shoot, they didn't want to question or speak to anyone, but you come to a crime scene for a reason. Wow. Shaking my head. Hello, Tuesday. Hi, Karmic Retribution. Good to see you. Thank you, Julia Lovejoy. The FBI need to see this. This is insane. John Bonio says FBI already knows, and I bet you they're not interested because they're in on the cover up. Ooh. Passion Flower says he's the guy that called T and A about Bitcoin from California. Yep. And in jail for the fake ransom letter. Yep. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you. Great job, Hunt. Thank you.
Is anybody aware? I guess I should look this up. Was this guy ever released though? Because I believe he got taken to jail for this. Was he ever released? Is he still in jail? I wonder if they still have him in custody or not.
Or, I don't know if you care to see it, but I outlined the masked dude's lips because I was like, okay, I got to see full blown how that works. I took it to the distance. I was like, we got to see if we do that same thing where we outline the lips, and I followed the reddish part, or not the reddish, but the shaded part to get the lip shape, if you will. And let's walk it back. Let's walk it back on him. It's right there. Can't even make it up.
That is just shocking. That's revealing.
That's crazy to me.
So much to me. I mean,
it's just crazy.
It just doesn't get any.
We have the younger picture too.
Even with the younger picture.
Why do you think he waited 4 days to send ransom? I don't know. Spilled pink furniture flippers. I thought his lips were very unique in the pitch on the porch, but you matched it perfectly, and they are unique. His lips are very unique. And I kept imagining what the face would look like to go to them lips. So One of the things I always want to do is try to get more than one.
I'm going to stop that right there because I wanted to pull this back up real quick before I forget. I just wanted to make this quick point real quick here. So, you know, we discovered that one of the vehicles that was spotted, or one of 12 of the vehicles that were spotted just 2 miles outside of Nancy's home, 2.5 miles to be exact. You know, investigators are keeping a really, really close eye on a Kia Soul. And I pointed out something that was interesting as well in the video. In the video, there's also a Honda CRV that passes by at one point in time, but I don't think that they're too focused on that just due to the fact of the time, I'm assuming. So I think the focus is that Kia Soul. However, upon pointing out the car
or more than
that I thought was that, you know, that I just said a second ago that could possibly be the car in the background, which I think would either be a Kia Soul or the Honda CRV. Also remember, Annie and Tommaso drove a Honda CRV. Now, I know that they got their car back, so that tells me that they didn't find anything. This is what a Honda CRV would look like if you're not familiar with the Honda CRV. And like I said, Annie and Tommaso drove a Honda CRV. It was an older one, not quite as new as that CRV. With the CRV at night, the back of the lights are going to look like that. And I can make that bigger if you really can't see it. However, that's what the back of the lights of a Honda CRV would look like. Now, for the Kia, let's see if I can pull up that Kia real quick. And I remember cars like I remember people, dang near. I'm a car person. I'm really big on cars, so I'm going to really know what car it is. Just even if the car is pixelated, I'm pretty sure I'd get pretty close if I don't figure it out what type of car that is. So I'm going to pull up that video just for one more time real quick because I got to get off here pretty soon anyways. But we'll talk more about this tomorrow. However, I'm going to pull up this video just real quick one more time because I want to show the back of this Kia. And I just want y'all to see that picture of the back of the Kia Soul next to the actual you know, because in the picture you can see the lights, but you can't see the car. But I want y'all to see how close these lights are. If I'm able to pull it up. It's probably going to take too long, so I don't know if I'll be able to do this. But I'm going to try to do this real quickly here. I'm having some trouble taking some of these photos down, though. Am I like not looking at the right thing? All right, let me just find a picture of my Kia here. I'm almost there. Bear with me, chat. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. All right, so this is a Kia. I'm sorry, this is a Honda. This is the Honda CRV. That's not the point in time that I saw the Honda CRV, but I thought I saw the Honda V travel both directions. I believe that they said that this is east and traveling north. I think it's north and east. But I think I saw the Honda CRV traveling both ways if you go look at the video. Not to say that Annie and Tommaso were there, but I did see a Honda CRV at one point in time. And that's that photo there. But I want to just pull up this video real quick where we pointed out that car in the background. Let me zoom in here real quick. See, let me zoom out. I need to make this a lot bigger than what it is, if I can. Okay, so in the very back right there, I'll put my arrow on it again. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more this time. We're going to zoom in as much as we can. It's really tough to zoom in. I should have had this already ready. I'm going to make sure I make a zoom, like a zoom, like I'll have one regular screen and one, my other screen, you know, would be super zoomed in. See, I just feel like I cannot zoom in enough. That's the problem. Even no matter how much I zoom in, it doesn't seem like it's close enough. Jesus. All right, so like I pointed out, I think that that's a vehicle in the back at the point in time that the suspect was there. And my theory would be either he would be this car right there, which is pretty much the exact same year as Annie and Tommaso's CRV. The lights start from the top, and the license plate looks like it could possibly also meet in the same area. So if you notice right here at the very bottom here, let me switch the screen. So at the very bottom here, right there is where I would say the plate is at. So you got the license plate here, kind of covered up. And then right here is where I would say that license plate lines up, which it looks like it lines up quite perfectly to me, if you ask me. And like I said, with the lights on the CRV as well as the Kia Soul, they point up and they go straight up and down. So these lights right here obviously look like those lights to me. That's a car for certain. That's a car. Like I said, no houses are across the street from Nancy's house. There are no lights at all whatsoever, so that cannot be anything else but a car. We know media was not there at the time. The suspect was there, so that's out. Nanik, is it Nanikai? Nanikai? I can't pronounce that, yo. I'm sorry about that. Big welcome. Thanks so much for the sub. So anyway, I wanted to point that out real quick. I thought that was an interesting point. However, let's just compare just to do it while we're here. Let's go ahead and throw up that Kia real quick because the Kia has very similar lights as well. Give me a moment here. I got to find my Kia real quick. I don't know why. You could blame me. I should have named the image and I didn't, so I got to kind of scavenge through images briefly real quick here. Where's my Kia at? Kia. I know I have a picture in here of the Kia somewhere. And if I don't have it, it's okay because we'll have plenty of time to talk about all this tomorrow. I actually had another video, but I'm not going to be able to make it to that one tonight, I don't think. Looking for that Kia. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is the Kia, okay? So I'll leave both of the pictures, you know, bottom side being the CRV, top being the Kia there. So I'll let y'all speculate on that. Let that sink in for a moment. The Kia is quite blurry, so it's very tough to really kind of make that out. But that's a Kia. It's a Kia Soul. If you're familiar with cars, then you'll know right away. And if you're not familiar with a Kia, I'll get you familiar. That's what a Kia looks like right there. That's a Kia Soul. All right, so at the top, that's a Kia Soul. And what I'm pointing out is I think that this car is that car. And it's in the background at the moment in time that we see the suspect doing whatever he's doing with that strub. Now, I think that car is a lot closer to possibly being this car But at the same time, make no mistake, it could highly possibly be this car that's in the background at the moment in time. Just figured I'd touch up on that just because I don't know if you guys feel like that's a car in the background, but I do. I very much certainly do. I don't feel like, I mean, what else could it be? What else could it be? There's no lights across the street from Nancy's home whatsoever. It's all dirt. Literally, it's all dirt, branches and, you know, trees, little small trees. Other than that, that's it. That is all. So, thought that was interesting to kind of point out. I don't know how I pulled up my media source. Bro, yeah, I got to get more organized here. Anyways, we'll finish watching this video here with how she analyzes and goes over how close Kalila is to our suspect that is, you know, in that video that we're watching right here tonight.
Than one source. So I went back and I got the secret mutilator, aka Derek Kalila, aka the man arrested for contacting
We go back
Annie
here.
and Tomaso.
Yo, Deborah, thanks so much for the sub. Yo, shout out everybody subbing up to the channel. I appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to like the stream as well. I'm sorry I didn't have too much time to stick around tonight. You know, I got work in the morning in the next 3 hours, so I decided to start pretty late tonight, so it's kind of my fault, but it is what it is. I like being up late. I'm a night owl, so catch me tomorrow, same time.
2020-ish, right? I know, 5-6 years ago, whatever. And I thought, what, you know, we all have bone structure. We all have certain ways of our lips. Certain things don't change. And I was like, I need to understand if his lips match that well. So I grabbed his picture. I made it the same size. I'll let you be the judge of that much older picture, right? Here we go. It's just his lips from that picture I'm showing you. And it's a match. Boom, boom,
wow.
Boom, 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 boom. No matter what picture I use of Derek Kalila, those unique lips of the masked guy seem to match.
That's insane, chat. That is insane. You can't make this up.
Good features for a guy.
You really can't make this up.
Was reported on February 2nd. Paula Grant. Interesting.
Those of you guys that are familiar with what she's using, you know, you may have more knowledge than I do to what she could have did wrong, and maybe that's why it's matching up for whatever reason. I don't know. I want to get this program that she's using just to see for myself how well that matches up. And I wonder if it automatically matches up, you know, the mask to the actual person and vice versa. Or you have to outline it and size it yourself.
On February 2nd. But the contact to Tomaso and Annie was on the 4th. So could it be that he made that little comment way back years ago about hacking, right? Back after hacking that.
She matched the eyes already, Tomax. If you want me to go back, I'll let you check it out.
Could he have some skills? Could he have some hacking skills? Could he have known?
I'll let y'all see the eyes one more time.
Like, I blew this sucker up and I took my time. Now, I didn't do eyelashes. I'm doing the outside edge of the whites of the eye, not the actual eyelids themselves. What I outlined is the whites of the eye. Okay? So I got it. That is the shape of the eye. And I looked at it really hard, and I'm like, that's the shape of the eye.
I'm going to have to move my camera for a sec.
Right there on the mask eye, that's the shape of it. Nobody should fit this mapping. Nobody should be able to be transitioned, and that shape
I agree.
fits their eyes too, unless They have a double or it's them, right? Passion flower. Wow, I have a feeling that some of this all along. Thank you, Alaska. Are you doing one per? I shape of the sign.
So check it out.
As you
Check
can
it out,
see,
guys.
We've outlined the mask guy's eyes. Those are the shape of his eyes. All right, let's go. Are you ready for this? Boom, ba boom, ba boom, 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 boom. What in the actual fudge at Christmas? Oh my gosh.
Insane.
That's crazy to me. What are the chances of this crap? Let's go back down. Now remember, that's not me circling Derek's eyes. That's coming from this. Look, it's the dude's eyes in the mask. I've circled the dude's eyes in the mask. But look, it looks like I circled it looks like I circled Derek Kalila's eyes. Mic drop, hot shot. Yeah. Wow, says Wendy B. OMG, says Hey Smithy. And it gets so much wilder. I can't wait to
Just insane, guys. You just can't make that up.
I've circled the dude's eyes in the mask. But look, it looks like I circled Derek Kalila's eyes. Mic drop, hot shot. It looks like I circled mask. His eye. But look, it looks like I circled dude's eye. It looked in the circle.
Look at the. It's almost. I mean, literally around the eye. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Says why? Let's get at the moment. Let's get ahead of myself a little bit more. Like,
it's literally perfect.
Right. I get all oh my.
Like I said, I'm not familiar with the program that she's using, so who's to say she's off? She's slightly off. You got to be familiar with whatever she's using to know whether or not it's on point or not. But from what I've observed so far, I mean, it looks like it's on point to me. It really does.
Okay, he's got a little mole here, but he does have really dark here.
Check this out.
He's got this really dark here. Okay, this would be his right eye. You can see this, let's do a little drawing. Let's just draw whatever this marking is right here. Let's just see where it comes out, or even if it shows up, okay?
This is creepy, guys. This is creepy.
It is there! It is there! It's right there! Oh my gosh! Okay, let me undo this. That is wild. All right, let's look at this dark mark. Let's do a little drawing.
Hold on, I gotta see that. I gotta see that again. Let's see that again.
Marking. Do a little drawing here. Okay, this would be his right eye. You can see this, let's do a little drawing. Let's just draw whatever this marking is right here. Let's just see where it comes out, or even if it shows up, okay? Let me move it. Oh, it is there! It is there! It's right there!
Wow.
Up, okay? Let me move it. Oh, it is there! It is there! It's right there! Oh my gosh! Okay, let me undo this. That is wild. All right, let's look at this dark mark. Let's do a little drawing. I don't know, maybe it's a scar, maybe it's the lighting in the camera, but there's a line. Let me undo it so you can see it. Do you see it? He's got a line under his eye right there. Let's transition this picture back.
Go back. You might have missed it, chat. You might have missed it.
Let me undo. Oh, maybe it's a salt. All right, let's look at this dark mark. Let's do a little drawing. I don't know, maybe it's a scar, maybe it's the lighting in the camera, but there's a line. Let me undo it so you can see it. Do you see it? He's got a line under his eye right there. Let's transition this picture back. I didn't do this when I was alone. I'll do this with you. Let's transition it back and see And now let's take away this mark. Yeah, I don't see that part, but I do see the other mark.
Wow.
You didn't go back far enough. Blowing on embers. What the hell does that mean? Sick choice of name? Yeah, secret mutilator. Yeah. Tucson station reported receiving a ransom note on February 2nd. Law enforcement told them to keep it quiet. Interesting. Does he have a huge earring? I don't know, hun. My savior. And so if the cards are meant to show, they will. But I don't rely on other belief true work up, so I will. Here's Derek, full blown, lips and all coming back down. Here we are, one step away, and here's the defining moment. Watch close. I'm taking Derek's picture away. Brought it back, away. Brought it back, away. Is it a match to you? As I said, my opinion doesn't really matter. Your opinion matters greatly.
So scary.
Do you think
That
it's
is
Derek?
so
I don't
scary.
know. If it isn't Derek,
my
it's his body
God.
double. Oh my gosh, what is the name of your tarot channel? It's the same channel. You'll just literally click the thumbnail and we're going to jump over. And this is what we're going to be
I'm lost for
sharing.
words.
So
I'm lost for
I put
words,
a little
Seth.
elephant in the background because, you know, spirit never forgets. Just like an elephant, the memory is crystal clear. And tarot is not about location. Doesn't do well with giving locations because you don't have. Good question. What does he drive? Scary subhuman Derek, is it? Shelley Paulusland says yes. Lynn B says OMG. Mike Wilfan, by the way, says, let's go see.
Insane, chat. Insane. There's no question that it's highly possible that it could be Kalila. I mean, who knows, guys? Who knows? As time goes on, the story continues, and we continue to wait. You know, we just don't never know. We don't know. You know, there's been a lot of people that I feel like have been letting go that, you know, still don't need to necessarily be let go. They don't need to be off the leash. However, you know, like I said, they got to put these guys there regardless if they find the guy or, you know, in order to charge somebody with murder, you know, and kidnapping, they still have to be able to put you there to say you did it. Like I said, there's many people out here walking around that FBI or detectives or whatever investigators are out there that have, you know, figured things out, know that, you know, that guy is the killer, but they've never been able to solve it far enough to put that guy there and give him those charges. You know, you definitely have to be able to put that guy there in the home, you know, for them to obviously be arrested for whatever they're trying to get them arrested for. So I think that's going to be the toughest part, you know, and just because, you know, there's DNA in Nancy's home that isn't family related, or it's someone who people aren't familiar with that, you know, have been there, doesn't prove that that's our suspect. It still doesn't prove that. So we're going to be waiting a long time to really get this thing all unfolded. And I think that's the reason why they're going door to door and doing all the other stuff that we think that, you know, doesn't really make sense, or doesn't really make a lot of sense to a lot of us. So I thought that was interesting. Hey guys, shouts to everybody who stopped by, spent some time with me, got in the chat, thumbed up the stream, and subscribed to the channel. I will see y'all tomorrow night. I got to get going because I got to work in the morning. I appreciate it, guys, a lot. Like I said, I'm a growing YouTuber. I got a long way to go. And thanks to you guys, I'm growing even more. So tune in with me tomorrow night. I'm a night owl. I'll be up late. We'll do some more speculating. I got a couple other videos I want to show y'all. Tune in. It's your boy YouTube Juice. I'm out of here, baby. Y'all have a good night. Sleep well, my friends.